I came out this morning to clean up my shop to get ready for my next project, and normally when I'm sweeping the floor, I turn on the air cleaner. And I did that, and I was sweeping, and then I heard this rocket, this banging sound, and I knew immediately what it was. So I went over and I turned off the air cleaner, which is partly dismantled up there, and started taking it apart to get the blower unit out. Here it is right here. Kind of heavy. You can see where the impeller used to be. Here it is right here. Here are the pieces. Okay? Problem that the mistake I made with that was making the round plate from MDF. I thought it would hold up, and it did for a long time. So kind of a success and kind of a failure. It's mostly a failure this morning though when it breaks. And it wasn't something got in there and did it. I think it's just mechanical fatigue. Every time it starts up, because the motor starts so fast, these that are glued in, they want to stay still, right? Inertia. And so they put stress on that joint down there. And the way MDF is, the greatest weakness of MDF is the layering. Like there's not much strength there. So as these plywood were putting force on that, it was prying it up and breaking that layer. So eventually it just gave way. See, it's funny because when I built this, I was not going to put this in. I said, instead of putting this in, why don't you just put this thing in? This thing, you can see it right here, is the blower unit from my old a dust collector. I bought a dust collector, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago. I was using my old shop pretty much as a vacuum to vacuum the floor. That was basically it. And because it's not strong enough, not really powerful enough. It was supposed to be 1 horsepower, but that's not strong enough for an actual dust collector. Not for more than one tool anyway. So, I did various things with that, and I made various videos about that through the years. I actually rebuilt the thing here. It didn't work very well, so I just got rid of it. And now I use local dust collection. I'm going to use this one in here. It's a stronger airflow. It's a bigger impeller. It's made from metal, of course. I'm just looking at it here, and I need to mount it so that it's hanging from the springs, very much like I had done with this, so it won't transmit the vibration to everything. And then I got this flexible hose here that goes from the inlet. Well, that actually had a piece of stuff in there. It goes from the inlet over to the pipe on the plenum. Okay, so I'll be doing that today. It's not going to take long. It's now Monday morning. I got the thing fixed and finished. It took longer than I expected. I first hung it up from the brackets I had there to begin with, from the springs, and tried it, and it sounded good because it's completely isolated. It's up. Like, you can't get rid of the fan noise, but you can get rid of the vibration transfer. But then when I went to put the front back on, it wouldn't fit. The unit is too physically big too big by about just a 1/4 inch. So what I did was I cut out the back of the plenum to clear it in a rectangular shape, and I also moved the inlet more towards the center because the hose wasn't working properly. And so I just bolted the unit down to the top of the miter saw station so that it's not touching the wall and it's not touching the plenum. Anyway, so I'm finishing taking apart the old unit. I take the motor from it, throw away all this scrap plywood that I built it with, take the motor and put it down inside the double-sided unit down there. I think you can see some of it. The double-sided unit that I've decided to keep because, at least for now anyway, because I got a bunch of junk in there, right? And it is convenient. If the top is clear and the front is properly organized the way it's supposed to be, then it would be easy to use. It would be like perfect for hiding away stuff that I want to keep, but I don't need every day. So yeah, that's saying if I want to put wheels on the rolling toolbox that I'm talking about, like that I'm getting ready to start building today, then I'll buy new wheels. Okay? Or I may have more wheels out in my shed. I'll have to have a look. Yeah, stuff like this motor, which I definitely want to keep, and I want to keep here in the shop because if I get the urge to build something or start designing something that uses a motor, I want to be able to get that quickly. So that's a perfect place for that down there. You can see it now. Okay? It opens up almost like a secret room. Okay, so all I need to do is follow my own advice. In that video I just posted on my main channel where I said it's very important to follow through with what you're started. So leave the backside messy and all the stuff in there that I want, but I don't want right now. Close it up and then reorganize the area in the front so that it works better and it's not just a big cluttered mess. So I'll stick this down there for now. And one project I was thinking about, I know I've got tons of projects. You know, guys occasionally accuse you of running out of ideas. I'm very, very far from running out of ideas, actually. It's not the way it works either. Because while you're working on something, you'll get an idea for something else. And that idea that you're working on while you thought it up while you were doing something else brings you to another idea and so on and so forth down the line. Like taking this apart, I got the old idea actually, of building a mini table saw. Because this is a pump motor. It turns at the right speed, 3450 I think it is. But it's not a really strong motor. 9.4 amps, that puts it around 3/4 horsepower. Okay? It claims half horsepower, but you know, I call it 3/4 horsepower. Pretty good for, say, a 7 1/4 inch blade table saw. Okay, so a mini tabletop table saw. Say, pretty good for your hobby shop, or I could use something like that here for precision cutting. As long as I could, you know, put it away, out of the way.
Pretty sophisticated ingenuity for any kind of animal, man or beast.
Animals are far more like humans than we ever realized. And humans are far more like animals. One thin barrier between us.
For some, that barrier is way too thin. Hello, Dr. Lecter.